Every individual, once in his or her life, wondered how he or she developed from that baby into who he or she now. What are the factors that contribute to his or her development as an individual? To answer these questions, today we are going to talk about holistic development. Holistic development is the second lesson under Module 1 entitled Self-Development. Before discussing the lesson, the following are the most essential learning competencies that needed to be achieved by the learners. 1. Discuss the relationship among physiological, cognitive, psychological, spiritual, and social development to understand his/her thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. 2. Evaluate his/her own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. 3. Show the connections between thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in actual life situations. The following guide questions will facilitate in the understanding and focusing of the essential concepts that needed to be learned about the lesson. 1. What is holistic development? 2. Why is the development of one dimension connected to the other dimensions? 3. What are the significant concepts that must be noted in the development of each domain? Human development is a complex process because it entails the development of the different aspects of the human person. The altogether development of the aspects or dimensions of man is known as holistic development. Holistic development is a process of self-actualization that combines the individual's physical, cognitive, emotional, social, and moral growth. The holistic viewpoint is based on the premise that a system, as a whole, will determine how its individual components act. This can be seen on how the different faculties of the person affect the totality of the person. As a development method, it attempts to integrate and encompass multiple layers of experience and meaning rather than placing a narrow focus on one or few of the aspects of person. The following are the development of an individual in the different dimensions, but it must be taken to note that the development of one dimension is connected to other dimensions. Physical development is one of the many domains of development that relates to growth and skill development of the body. It also refers to the advancements and refinements of motor skills, or the abilities of individuals to use and control their bodies. Motor skills, specifically gross motor skills, and fine motor skills start to develop during infancy and toddlerhood. Gross motor skills involve the mastery of large muscle movements, as well as the building of strength in muscle groups like the arms, legs, and core. Fine motor skills involve smaller, more precise movements, particularly movements of the hands and fingers, such as grasping. Each new motor skill that is developed is the result of an earlier skill and a contributor to new skills, such that the physical growth follows patterns, namely cephalocaudal and proximogestal. Cephalocaudal development refers to growth and development that occurs from the top down, while proximogestal development starts from the core of the body then outward. Cognitive development is the construction of thought processes, including remembering, problem-solving, and decision-making, throughout lifespan. Cognitive abilities include sense, instinct, imagination, memory, and intellect. Sensing is the ability to see, hear, feel, taste, and smell. Instinct is the natural tendency to behave or react in a particular way. Imagination is the capacity to form representation of material objects which are actually present in the senses. Memory is the ability to retain, recall, and recognize past mental acts. Intellect is the innate capacity to form concepts or ideas, makes judgment, and reason out. With these cognitive abilities, an individual can be able to perceive, think, and gain an understanding of the world through the interaction of genetic and learned factors. Emotional development refers to the process of acquiring the ability to recognize, express, and manage feelings at different stages of life and to have empathy for the feelings of others. The core features of emotional development include the ability to identify and understand one's own feelings, to accurately read and comprehend emotional states in others, to manage strong emotions and their expression in a constructive manner, to regulate one's own behavior, to develop empathy for others, and to establish and maintain relationships. Emotional development requires dealing with the experience of both positive and negative emotions. How a person deals with the negative and positive emotions has an impact to the individual's emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is comprised of 5 domains, namely, self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Self-awareness is knowing what you are feeling when you are feeling it. Self-regulation is the skill of expressing your emotions at the right time, in the right place, and in the right way. Motivation is delaying gratification to pursue important goals and persevering when faced with setbacks or frustrations. Empathy is sensing what others are feeling and seeing other perspectives. Social skills are our ability to interact with others comfortably and cooperate during those interactions. Social development is the gradual gaining of social skills in order to function properly as a member of society and to establish healthy interpersonal relationships. Social skills include but not limited to effective communication, conflict resolution, active listening, empathy, relationship management, and respect. Moral development involves the formation of a system of values on which to base decisions concerning right and wrong, or good and bad. The nature of moral development is described by its components, which are moral sensitivity, moral judgment, moral motivation, and moral implementation. Moral sensitivity is the empathy and cognition of the effect of various possible actions on others. Moral judgment is choosing which action is the most moral. Moral motivation is deciding to behave in the moral way, as opposed to other options. Moral implementation is carrying out the chosen moral action. In conclusion, the holistic approach to human development is the total transformation of man. It sees man as a whole being of one's frames of reference, rather than a system based on transmission and transaction. Integrative development of the human aspects is emphasized rather than the fragmented transformation of the individual.